As you get ready for your first date, you're already launching into a full-on panic. You tear clothes off your hangers, you throw them onto your bed every few minutes. You feel like nothing looks the way that you want it to. You text your sister saying, maybe I should just cancel. While you drive to the restaurant, your fingers are dancing on the steering wheel. You can feel your palms start to sweat. By the time you make it there, you're not even sure if you should get out of the car or just slam the gas and drive in the opposite direction. Once you work up the courage to go inside, you go for the handshake and he goes for the hug. You almost just run into each other.
Hi.
Hi. Kate?
Mario, yeah.
I'm Luke.
Oh, I just cringed a little bit inside. And you want to just hide under a rock. You can't find the right words or gestures, and you get home feeling defeated. You think, I might as well just get a few cats and accept that I'm going to be alone forever. Well, if you've ever felt this way during a first date, I'm here to tell you that you're not alone. Many women and men all over the world are terrified to go on a first date, and they second-guess every move before they make it, during and after the date, which is exactly why I'm going to show you what it takes to be fearless on a first date. To help show you how to become fearless, we're going to look at some video clips of Gal Gadot, and I'm sure I'm butchering her name, Gal Gadot. I can't do it. If you're not familiar with her, Gal became famous all over the world for her role as Wonder Woman. Now, although she does a great job exemplifying this powerful, fearless woman in the movie, we're going to look at how she exudes these same traits in her real life. We're going to cover 3 main traits that she displays, which you can use on your first dates to put yourself and the man that you're seeing at ease. These are really going to help you put your best foot forward and make men see you as someone that they want to go out with again and again. I'm Jason Silver. I'm the dating coach for ambitious women, and I'm here to reveal the psychology behind male attraction and help you to navigate the modern day dating scene so you can attract a high value man into a committed relationship. And if you haven't done so already, please hit that red subscribe button right beneath the video and join over 200,000 women who are learning the deep psychological male attraction triggers every single week on Attract Great Guys. Now let's get started. So here is how to become fearless on a first date. However, you can apply these same principles to almost any social situation where you're experiencing fear. Number 1, be able to laugh at yourself. One of Gal's most likable qualities is that she is able to laugh at herself. And this makes everyone around her feel comfortable and see her as someone who's down to earth and confident. She's always got this bright smile and a big laugh, even when people tease her. Since she is from Israel and English isn't her first language, sometimes she has trouble understanding people when they talk, or she gets mixed up and says the wrong words in English. People continually tease her about this in interviews, and just watch how she keeps her cool.
Gal and Amy, you guys got to be really great friends on this, right?
Oh my
You
God,
guys
we
just really
slept
hung out.
together. I'm sorry, it's my English. No, we had a slumber party.
It's a very mixed bag right now. You're going through a lot of emotions, and I feel that.
It's a food.
Foot? Like foot or food? Foot? You said foot. So that means it can be. Is it a foot you eat foot or foot with toes? Oh, foot. It's a fruit. Yes. It's a fruit.
It would be so easy for Gal to become embarrassed, shy, or awkward when people poke fun at her. She doesn't let this bother her. Instead, she laughs at herself, which makes people find her relatable and heartwarming. Because she can laugh at herself, it shows that she's comfortable. And when the person that we're with is comfortable and confident with themselves, it puts us at ease. Now, the same principle applies on a first date. If you want to be fearless, you need to be able to laugh at yourself, even when you make mistakes or do something silly. Rather than being embarrassed and acting ashamed, join in on the fun. Laugh along with him. Now, of course, if he's being rude or inappropriate in any way, you cannot laugh at that. You have to call him out on it. But, for example, if he asks you about your favorite movie and you say The Notebook, and he teases you a bit for being sappy, well, you can laugh and you can say, well, I know it's cliche, and you can make a joke about it. Now, let's say you do something to embarrass yourself. Maybe you spill wine on your shirt or you trip. This doesn't have to be game over. You can make fun of yourself for being clumsy. You can say, well, there's no use crying over spilled wine. Not only is that going to lighten the mood, but you're going to show your date that you can laugh at simple little mistakes. In this next clip, we can see Gal recovering from an awkward situation where she accidentally curses on live television.
I've been waiting for 6 weeks. I already think that the part is not mine. This is very place,
She doesn't apologize profusely or run out of the room. She makes a cute oops face and she laughs it off. She even makes a little joke afterwards saying, "Wait, isn't this late night?" implying that she should be allowed to swear. On first dates, men are assessing you from the very beginning. There's going to be times when you mess up or you say something awkward. You're human, and that's totally normal. It's all about how you recover that's going to define the way he remembers you. And this is why you want to be able to laugh at yourself and make light of the situation rather than dwelling on it and blaming yourself. If you get flush with embarrassment, he's going to think, wow, she's really nervous and afraid. She must be trying really hard to impress me. It immediately lowers your value in his mind because it can seem like you're placing him on this pedestal and trying to impress him. By being able to laugh at yourself, no matter what goes wrong, he's going to see you as someone who's enjoyable to be around, who's confident in herself, and someone who doesn't need the validation from others. And that is deeply attractive. Number 2, be up for new experiences. Now, being fearless on the first date requires more than just being able to laugh at yourself. Gal Gadot has other traits that you can implement that's going to help you impress the guy that you're dating. One of these things is being up for new experiences. As you can see from these videos, she's always up for trying something new, whether it's sword fighting with the person interviewing her or playing charades. You can use this same up for anything attitude on your first date to show the guy that you're saying that you are fearless. If he asks you if you want to go indoor rock climbing and you've never been, tell him that you're up for it if he's willing to show you the ropes. If you freeze up when you're in the middle of climbing, you're going to be exposing a vulnerable side of yourself. But if he's a high quality guy, he's going to be wowed that you took the time to try something new with him. He's going to like to see this vulnerable side of you and love that you're open to trying new things. Most men are looking for an equal partner who can go on adventures and keep up with them. And that doesn't mean that you have to be a pro at whatever he does, but if he loves water sports and you don't even want to step foot onto a beach, that could be a problem. Don't hold yourself back from trying new things because you're afraid of them. Let the man you're dating act as your guide when it comes to trying a new experience. You might just end up loving whatever you try, and he might end up falling for you because you trusted him enough to lead the way and made the effort to show up. Watch Gal's reaction to trying a new food for the first time in an interview.
Well, today is a great day for you. I can't wait to see what happens.
Oh my God, magic will happen.
Gal Gadot is trying a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup for the first time right now.
Listen, I understand this is different than real life. She's got millions of eyeballs on her in the interview. She's clearly not going to say no. But time and time again, my clients come to me afraid to try new experiences, especially on the first date with a new guy. For example, one of my clients, Marie, she was a very particular woman, and it became detrimental to her when planning a first date. She told me about how she met this handsome, successful guy through a dating website, and he suggested they go to a pasta making class. Well, she told him that she's not really a fan of Italian food, so then he suggested going for a hike and having a picnic. And she's like, well, I'm not really that outdoorsy of a person. So then he said, what about dinner and a movie? And she said to him, well, movies usually put me to sleep, which was probably a good thing to say because you don't want to go on a movie on your first date, but I digress here. They went on like that for a while. They went back and forth. And finally, by the time they agreed on a place, he just didn't seem that enthusiastic to take her out anymore. She messaged him the day before the date saying she was excited to see him. And he replied, honestly, I'm not sure if it's going to be a good fit. It seems like you're not really up for trying new things or going outside of your comfort zone. And that's not a problem, but it's not really my thing. And I don't want to waste your time or my own. So I think we should probably just cancel the date. Marie was so confused because, well, she thought he was being a jerk for canceling. And I don't disagree with her, but I try to open her mind to a new perspective. I asked her, I said, would you want to be with someone who wasn't open to trying new things? And she agreed that she would try to be more open despite her hesitations. Now, imagine my delight when the next guy who asked her out suggested they go to a wine tasting and end the night with karaoke. Well, Marie couldn't sing a note, and she was mortified. She told the guy she was a terrible singer, but she would be up for it. And he said he wasn't that great either, but he thought it would be fun. Well, after a few glasses of wine, Her and her date actually shared a hilarious night singing terrible karaoke together at the bar. Just think about all of the opportunities that you might be missing by saying no. To show your date and yourself that you're fearless, try saying yes some more. Try some new foods, some new experiences, some new activities. Do things that push you outside of what you're used to. This is how you show the man that you're dating that you're exciting and that you're fun and up for adventure. This is how you differentiate yourself from other women. Number 3 is to tell good stories. For this third trait, this is something a ton of celebrities have mastered. It's really going to help you wow your date, and that's being a great storyteller. I want you to remember, Gal's first language is not English, so she doesn't even know all the time the right words to use, or she sometimes gets tripped up. Yet she still can tell captivating stories. So if you struggle with telling stories, or if English isn't your first language, don't worry. If Gal can do it, you can do it too. So let's go over some of the techniques that she uses that really draws people in when she's talking. So we'll use this interview with Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
No, you're Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Seems to be.
This is a big deal.
You know, it's just I wake up every morning telling myself, no.
The first thing I want you to notice is how she begins the conversation. Although you can't see Jimmy, you can see Gal mirroring him with her eyes and her body movements. Now, when you mirror someone, you get in their same energy. You mimic their movements, their vocal tone, their volume, their cadence of speaking. And if this isn't natural to you, it's okay. Just try observing people when they're talking. Look at them, and you'll see that they're actually physically mirroring each other if they're in rapport. Now, in this interaction, Jimmy asks Gal about auditioning for Wonder Woman. Now, the key to storytelling is that there has to be a big transformation. There has to be a big change of some kind. So notice how Gal starts the story out with just how difficult it is to land an audition. She sets up the story of the protagonist, which is her, by laying out the challenge or the unlikely odds that she could ever land a big movie role.
This profession, the rejection, oh, dude.
It's a tough business.
So it's a tough.
Trust me, Scott, have you seen my movies? Yeah. Thank you for rubbing it in.
You did pretty well.
Yeah, I ended up okay.
Whenever you tell a story, it's helpful to set the stage. Explain why the story is so meaningful or powerful by setting higher stakes or giving more reasons that the listener should be surprised or amazed or interested in something. And you can do that by showing how you beat the odds. She goes on to tell the story of how she landed the role, which was obviously a very rare occurrence. In addition to setting up the unlikely odds of her landing the role, just watch Gal's body language as she talks. She often uses her hands to express herself. She laughs, she smiles, she maintains eye contact with the person she's talking to. Just watch her body language here some more.
Basically, Alma my daughter is very proud. We go to the park, and then she goes to, kids. They try to make friends, so they go to the parents, and she goes, my mom is Wonder Woman. And then the parent would look at me strangely, not recognizing me, and I would go, every mother is a Wonder Woman.
It's really beneficial for you to implement this type of body language when telling stories on the first date. Make sure you're looking at your date in the eye. Make sure that you're smiling, you're laughing. I understand it can be nerve-wracking to maintain eye contact, and it's easy to look at the table or to check your phone, but it is so important to learn how to do this. Making eye contact, it shows the person that you're seeing that you're present and interested in them. Now, to be fearless on the first date, you should tell stories about your life and your experiences. The stories should paint you in a good light, but they can still be silly and funny. Here's another story that Gal talks about finding the part that she got for Wonder Woman.
The part is yours, you're Wonder Woman, but you can't say anything to anyone. And I go, oh my God, oh my God! And this guy is next to me, and everyone are looking at me like it was a lot louder. I sounded, it was my masculine voice.
Not only does she use great body language to explain the story, but again, she laughs at herself as she's talking about achieving one of the biggest accomplishments of her career. This grounds her, I think, and it makes her likable because she's successful and yet humble. By telling good stories on the first date, you're going to captivate his attention and make him want to learn even more about you. But if you're nervous about doing this right, I want to lay something down that I think is going to be very helpful. Don't worry about screwing up. Don't worry about having a horrible first date. I would encourage you to try to have more bad first dates. Because the more bad first dates that you have, the more that you might realize, hey, I can survive this. I can actually get through a first date. It can go horribly wrong, and I'm okay. The more that you can have fun and not worry about making everything perfect, just trying to improve and not worrying if you make mistakes, the more that you can get through these dates, the more empowered you can be. Because ultimately, it's through getting through painful or challenging experiences that make us stronger. Now that you know the 3 things that you can do to be fearless on a first date, you can use this advice to make men see you in a different light from the very first time that they meet you. They're going to be impressed with just how comfortable you are with yourself and the way you're open to trying new things. Look, I know first dates can be scary, and the idea of finding the one, it can seem impossible. But you have the power to make this happen. You're a smart, ambitious woman, and I know that you're going to do what it takes to show men that you're fearless on a first date and reap the rewards because of it. Now, if you made it this far, I know you're here because you're hoping to be more confident on your dates and understand male attraction better. Well, I actually collaborated with 2 of the top Ivy League psychologists in dating and attraction to break down the stages that men go through in order to commit to a woman. Together, we discovered a concept called the male commitment sequence. But be warned, this concept is a little controversial. It's actually different than almost anything you've heard about attraction previously. We actually interviewed real men and got them to reveal things that they would never admit in a million years to women. And that's why I can't post this publicly on YouTube. If you're interested, I just released a brand new exclusive presentation where I explain this approach in depth, which you can watch right now by clicking the link in the description. This is going to take the way that you view dating and just flip it on its head. If you want to learn this, then go check it out right now while it's still online, because I'm not sure how much longer I can keep it online. You'll discover why in the presentation, and hopefully you'll be one of the 400 women who take me up on this special offer I'm making for a very short amount of time. Just click the link in the description below, and I'll see you over there. Be well.